Hi everyone, this is Tracy. I have a little activity that I wanted to record using the Tarot Playbook. I've been using this Tarot Playbook for a month or so to get to know some of my decks. It's by Lynda Cowles and it's published by Schiffer. This playbook's a lot of fun in that it's going to help you get to know your cards. So if you have a deck maybe that's been sitting by the wayside and you haven't used it as much as you'd like because you're just not connecting with it, this Tarot Playbook is a great way to help you connect with those cards. It's not so much about learning how to read the cards as it is connecting with your deck. And I've had a lot of fun with it this month. I'm gonna probably put it aside at the end of the month, but I've had a lot of fun. And there's an activity in here. One of the activities is called the Whodunit. And I wanted to try to capture this on film. I've done this a couple of times with other decks, and it has been eerily spot on and amusing as well. So here's the activity. Whodunit. A crime has been committed, a most heinous murder. One of the court cards is responsible, but which one? Before you jump to conclusions and throw the Knight of Swords in jail, it's perhaps wise to examine the evidence. You need to uncover not just who done it, but how and why. It's time to gather everyone in the drawing room. Divide the deck into separate piles. You have the major arcana, which I've got here, and I've already done all my shuffling but you're supposed to take out the death card. So the death card is sitting right here, and the reason I'm using the Hesychos Tarot is because I absolutely love the death card in this particular deck. So I've got my major arcana here, I've got my minor arcana here, and I've got my aces over here. So there's a reason why. And then it says to shuffle out all of the court cards and put them all out where you can see them, but I don't have a space that's big enough for that. And in a minute, I'm going to eliminate 3 of these piles anyway, so it doesn't matter that you can't see them all. But they're all suspects at this point, all of the court cards. There's been a murder, there must be a body. Turn over the top card on the major arcana pile to see who has died. So let's see who's died. Someone's killed the magician. I don't know if you can see that. So someone's killed the magician. Let's call him, I don't know, he looks like a Bruce to me. He just looks like a Bruce. Okay. Next we have to find the murder weapon. And we're going to find the murder weapon with the aces. And the aces, each ace corresponds to a different method of murder. The cups means the victim was poisoned. The swords mean he was stabbed. The wands means he was shot. And the pentacles means he was hit over the head with something heavy. Perhaps an enormous coin. So if I turn over the top card of the aces pile, we have the ace of rods, which means he was shot, which means I can eliminate all of the court cards other than the rods. So I'm going to lift them up and take them out. So we know the murderer was one of the court cards in the rod suit. So now I can spread out my king, queen, knight, and page of rods. And I'm going to need to move these guys off because I just don't have enough space to do all of this. Now we've got to find a motive. Why did one of these people kill the magician? So for that, I'm going to use the minor arcana. And we're going to look through and see what their motives are. So I'm supposed to actually deal out all the minor arcana cards? It says next, question each of the suspects to discover their motives. Adopt a bad cop attitude and interrogate each court. Turn over 1 minor arcana card for each suspect and study the image to uncover why they would want the victim dead. Be thorough. Any minor detail could be a clue to their motive. Okay, so for the king of rods, we have the 2 of rods. Just getting started, not really going anywhere yet, just in the beginning phases. Don't see much motive there. The Queen of Rods is got the Nine of Rods. Sort of defensive. Been through a lot. Maybe he done her wrong and she's sick of it and she's going to beat him in the head. She's going to shoot him. Holy cow. The Knight of Rods has the Seven of Rods. Interesting. Also a defensive pose, but this one's a little bit more active. So maybe the Knight was holding a grudge against him. Maybe that magician was just too powerful and had just needed to be taken down a peg. Maybe that magician had gotten too cocky and needed to be eliminated. Maybe it was just a murder for hire. All right, now let's go for the Page of Rods. Oh, how is that possible that we got all rods for rods? That is just amazing. Well, I'm not seeing it for the Page of Rods. He seems to be a pretty stable guy. He's at home. He's not messing with anybody. My best guess based on these cards is the Knight of Rods, but I think I'm going to do a little something different, and I'm going to add an extra card to each of these piles and see if we get any sort of clarification there. And if we get all rods, I'm going to have a cow. No. All right, again, the King of Rods with the Four of Swords, a stable card, resting. I'm not seeing the motive there. The Queen of Rods, the Two of Swords. Some sort of decision, but still not an active card, not taking a whole lot of action. The Knight of Rods, we've got the Two of Coins, balancing, juggling. Maybe he's living a double life. Maybe the Knight of Rods is nothing but more than an assassin. And the Page of Rods, absolutely not. The Page of Rods did not do it. He's at home with his wife. He's got nothing to do with this. All right, so now what I'm supposed to do is take I'm thinking that it's still the Knight of Rods. That's still my guess as to who the killer is. But now I'm supposed to take the major arcana and shuffle them back up with the Death card in there. And then I start dealing out cards until the Death card is dealt on top of one of these suspects, and that is the person who did it. So I need to shuffle these up pretty good because there's not many of them. And I know where I put the Death card. So this is a great deck. It shuffles really easily, but with that few cards, I tend to bend them when I shuffle them. One more. Well, maybe one more. The first couple of times I did this, it was exceedingly clear because the person who got the Three of Swords with the broken heart was the murderer both times. So let's see how this goes. Nope. Strength. Fool. Chariot. Wheel of Fortune. Huh. Interesting. So the Queen of Rods, according to the cards, was actually the killer. So let's re-examine her motives. She had the Nine of Rods and the Two of Swords. So I think he just stepped on her one time too many. She snapped and she shot him. What do you think? Put your thoughts in the comments below, or give this a try and see how it goes for you. Thanks.